Hi, Mark, top local lead generation. We're here with Mr. Bernie Pollock on a beautiful morning here in Vancouver. How are you doing today, Bernie?
I'm doing really well. It is a beautiful morning too.
So, Pollock Automotive, 16-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver. You're going to tell us a story about a 2006 Volvo XC70. What was going on with this Volvo?
Well, this Volvo came to us because he had some vibrations when he was driving and some noises. So we looked at the car, diagnosed it, and found some of his engine mounts were worn.
So, is that a common thing, and finding engine mounts worn?
It is fairly common. Just trying to think frequency. I mean, we don't do a lot of engine mounts these days. Their quality of engine mounts is a lot better than it used to be 20 or 30 years ago, especially on Volvos. Remember, Volvo engine mounts used to break a lot on the older, those 240 boxy kind of cars. We used to replace them quite frequently, but more newer vintage models they're a lot more reliable, but we do replace them from time to time.
So, is that a large job? Is it an expensive job?
It can be. It's getting to be a more expensive job, but the parts themselves are quite a bit more expensive than they once were. Engine mounts are actually quite high tech. We had some engine mounts on a Nissan that we did once that actually had an electrical wire connected to them. I have no idea, and it wasn't just a ground wire. There's actually some sort of sensor in the engine mount. A lot of them are oil filled. They're hydraulic mounts, so the oil cushions the vibration of the engines. The whole idea of an engine mount is to take the you have to mount the engine and transmission obviously to the vehicle, but you want to cushion the vibration. Just actually a little aside on racing cars, you can actually get solid steel engine mounts. I remember when I was interested in drag racing, they used to have those, and I mean, it basically mounts your engine with a steel piece of metal straight to the frame, so every little shake of the engine is felt through the vehicle, which is probably fun when you're doing a quarter-mile strip, but day-to-day driving, not so much fun. Anyways, modern engine mounts, a lot of them are oil filled to take the shakes and vibrations from the engine and transmission out of the equation. As far as cost, yeah, I was saying it can be expensive these days because of the technology of engine mounts. And also, just to get them in and out can be very difficult on many cars because of the tight engine compartment designs. This Volvo is an all-wheel drive as well, so it makes for a little more time-consuming job.
So you found that you kind of covered this already, but are Volvo's engine mounts pretty good these days?
Yes, they are. This Volvo, I can't remember the kilometers, but it is we got 06, so it's about a 10-year-old car. I mean, older Volvos, the mounts would break a lot more frequently. I'll just share a couple of pictures here of the engine mounts so you can get an idea of what they look like. So these are actually the three mounts that we replaced. On your left side, you see two mounts that look similar. They're round. These are the main engine mounts. One sits at the front of the engine, and the other one sits at the rear. You'll also notice, if you look on the one on the left, there's a wire that's wrapped around the mount, and that's actually a safety piece in case the rubber breaks. And on this mount, actually, it was kind of torquing fully to those wire safety mounts. So the actual mounts were broken themselves. On the right-hand side, that's the upper torque bracket, and these break on Volvos a lot. On front-wheel drive Volvos, which, I mean, front and rear or all-wheel drive Volvos, these torque mounts break frequently, and we replace these a lot. That keeps the engine from twisting back and forth, and so yeah, those are the mounts. And I will just get back to us somehow here.
We're here.
We're here. Yes, we are. Okay. And where were we with the questions? You're saying Volvo mounts failing. Yeah.
So Volvo's had a pretty good reputation for tough and safe, reliable cars. How does this XC70 stack up?
It's pretty good. One thing I will say about a lot of Volvos is they have transmission problems and they can be very expensive. And actually, this particular car that we were working on, we actually did a transmission replacement a couple months ago. It's a very pricey job on many of these cars, so that's probably the biggest downside of this sort of vintage of Volvo is transmission problems. And it seems to happen to pretty much all of them. So that's not such good news if you own this kind of car. But overall, the engines are very reliable. They do have timing belts that need to be replaced, so that, and it's not very frequent. It's about 160,000 kilometer interval, but it is an expensive job because it's a pretty high tech engine, so it's time consuming. Quite a few parts involved. But overall, they're good cars. I mean, they're very solid. They drive really nice. They are safe, and you know, I'd say they're good. Pretty much average with a lot of other cars, except for the transmissions.
So if you're looking for service for your Volvo or any other make or model of car, pretty much the guys to call are Pollock Automotive in Vancouver. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 or check out their website, pollockautomotive.com. Tons and tons of information on there. It's one of the best in the world. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark.